And welcome back to another episode of Like-Minded with your host Recabilly and your co-host CDF the Man.
Now, what was that?
I don't know. We caught on fire.
Hello everyone, welcome to Like-Minded. This is the show where we talk to like-minded people in the gaming community. Today we have a special guest, one of my good friends, Dragnoz.
Hey, hello. I'm sorry, I'm getting stuck here when I'm walking.
Oh wow, he's on fire too. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Finally.
Finally, yeah, we've been meaning to get you on the show since episode 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But
sorry, it's been hectic. It's been hectic
yes,
time.
I'm sure it has. You've been pretty dang busy. We're excited to finally get you on the show, but before we get started with all the questions, why don't you go ahead and tell the community just who you are?
Hi, I'm Dragnoz. Is that you said a bit brief?
That was pretty brief, yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay, maybe a little bit. Okay.
Just a little more wouldn't hurt.
Hi, I'm Dragnoz. I make videos on YouTube. All right, so I basically make tutorial-based videos, which some people do seem to think is kind of concept videos, but mostly when kind of new stuff comes out, I teach people how to use the new commands and so forth in Minecraft, and you find interesting ways to do that. I'm also involved quite heavily in the kind of the educational side of things, especially on fringe education. So dealing with institutions that aren't typically associated with education, like art galleries, and I've recently did some work with Polaris and Disney, and kind of involved in like machinimas, educational machinimas based on the American school curriculum. So there's a lot of stuff that I actually do am involved in, and a lot of things I have interest in, basically. So that's me. And I like to also give advice to people.
Yes.
As you know, Recabilly.
Yeah, I remember we've always had those conversations over Skype. Just I'd ask for some advice. You'd be very helpful, of course. You're a nice guy.
I try to be most of the time. Oops, sorry.
Already breaking things. Why did we give him up?
I can't place. There's a horse in the way.
Well. Okay.
Well, there's a hole there.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix the
And
hole.
you broke a hole.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just stand. Okay. Let me just stand.
Well, you can feel free to sit there. Just don't fall down the hole.
Okay. I like the seat better.
Okay, CDF, your seat was taken. Oh man. Okay, so Dragnoz, you mentioned that you were doing some sort of machinimas. Now, I know I've heard of it, but why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about that?
Okay, yeah, I mean, I finally can actually talk about it. So, I work with somebody called The Common People, which you guys most probably know. He's kind of a serial ideas man. And a while back, he contacted Stampy via Twitter and said, do you want to make a recreation of we going on a bear the tiger comes to tea. Now I don't know if you guys know that child story about the tiger that comes to tea, eats all of the food, and then leaves, basically. So he contacted Stampy and said, look, I want to make a machinima, and I want to do the tiger comes to tea, but I want to do Stampy comes to tea. And he caught Stampy at exactly the right time, and Stampy said yes. Okay, now Stampy obviously is probably the premier YouTube child entertainer, and that kind of followed on. And then August last year, he contacted me saying, "Listen, I've got this thing, and we need some mechanics made." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." And then it turned out to be something called WonderQuest. So WonderQuest is basically a curriculum-led adventure that stars Stampy and stars the Common People, but he's now commonly known as Wizard Keen. And in the beginning, basically, I was hired to do all of the practical effects. So if the script says Keen throws a fireball, I had to come up with a mechanic to create the fireball. But in the end, I kind of took over full creative direction of it, and I was kind of controlling the script. So they would on a Tuesday they would hand me the script. I then broke down the script into what needs to be built. Like, you know, we need if we need a spaceship, or we need Charlie Tan's spaceship shop. I would then contact the builders, who was the Voxel Box, and I would give them the brief, give them the script, and tell them roughly what it is that they want. And then I would get the build from them, and I would take that build and then assemble. Every episode, I then basically assembled this massive Wonderburg map, and then built all of the mechanics for it. The show, pretty much 99% of the effects is actually in Minecraft. I mean, it's very, very obviously you'll be able to see which effects is put in digitally later on. Oops, sorry, that was me. Oh, hello. Hey. Anyway.
CDF trying to decide which seat you're getting.
I'm going to sit closer to you. Anyway, so yeah, and then we would shoot the show the following Tuesday. We would film the show. I would get handed the script for the next week, and the whole process would just continue. And we did that from August till about December. We did some more shoots in January, and then the show launched. We're now on episode 5, I think. So next on Saturday is episode 6. So yeah, that's it. It's them acting out. That they work to a script, they act out the whole adventure. They do a whole curriculum teaching stuff. Yeah, that's it. And it's all filmed by two camera people as well. A lot like what you guys are doing here with your cameraman, except when we film, there's 2 actors and there's 4 cameras basically. Yeah, about 4 cameras.
Wow, sounds like
so that's
a lot of work.
Yeah. It is. It's a surprising amount of work. It's a lot of people just think, it's very easy. You just rock up at the set, have fun, act it out, and then leave. But that's very, very small part of it. There's this whole pre-production, and then the end production, which I had no visibility over, is when they have professional editors come in that does all of the editing, add slight digital effects to enhance certain things. Like if there's counting, they would add the counting numbers. For example, there's this one thing where the spaceship flies over Wonderburg. I built the blue screen for them, so we had a blue and a black screen, and then we placed the spaceships in the blue and black screen so that the cameras can fly around them while they're acting in the spaceships, and then they would digitally cut that and put that over and have the spaceship fly over Wonderburg, for example. So there's all of that, and there's a whole marketing thing. There's a whole bunch of researchers, a whole bunch of teachers involved that actually consult on the show. So it's a massive undertaking actually.
Wow.
But I mean, if you watch one of the shows, it's you can see it's great.
Yeah, actually, we're going to have a link to the first episode, and excellent. I believe you also do a series yourself, kind of explaining all the mechanics inside the maps, correct?
I try.
But in that series, you're able to download the map and play around,
absolutely.
walk around.
Okay, so exactly. So basically, the map, I'm in full control of the map. Purely because the way I set the map up in the beginning is they have a book. So if they want, let me think. It's difficult to say. So all of the episodes blur together, so I don't want to give away any episodes that's coming in the future. So let's have a look. So, for example, there's a scene where Flunky and Lackey throw a mind swap potion, and they swap the mind of Keen and the dog. Okay, so that was a straightforward, very easy mechanic. I mean, it's just they throw the thing, they swap around. But however, the challenging bit was that they also wanted the dog then to attack Flunky. in the end.
Ah.
Okay, which was, well, it's one of those things. The script says the dog attacks Flunky. It's like, okay, let's how do you do that? So they then have a control book that controls everything in the world. Okay, so they would then click on the button that says dog attack Flunky. I would then spawn an invisible skeleton and then teleport the invisible skeleton to Flunky continuously, thus causing the dog to chase Flunky. So as Flunky's running away, the dog chases him, and then they can click in the book. They can click now chase Lackey, and then it'll flip around. It'll teleport it to Lackey, and then the dog will chase Lackey. So the issue with that is that when you put up the map for download, that was never catered for. We never built this to be downloaded. So I have to then retrofit all of the mechanics every single week before the episode, so that the map can be downloaded at the end of the week. Phew, okay. I talk a lot, sorry.
No, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
I really like how you did that. That was a good use of like that process of, okay, this is the effect that we want.
Yes.
You know, what are the mechanics that we can use? What does Minecraft natively have? And combining that together to create the desired effect.
Exactly, and exactly, and that's kind of why they got me. It's that it's a kind of concept maker's dream, because you get to make these concepts, and it's not, you know, you don't have to come up with the idea. They come up with the idea. You just need to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty. So that is really, really cool. I mean, there's a lot of those little things like that. Let me see. Well, they spoke about the bees in one of the videos already, so I can talk about the bees. One of the things they wanted was bees. Okay, and they wanted can I talk about? And they wanted a bag of bees. Yeah, let's talk about it. And basically, when they throw the bag down, the bees need to come spilling out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's some of the stuff that they were wanting. That particular mechanic crashed the server quite horrendously. Because they didn't put a block in place that stops. It was one of those things where it spawns itself, and now that you've spawned 2, it spawns, each 2 spawns 2, and then there's 8, and then each 8 spawns 8. So it was this whole thing that just kind of went into a very, very nasty little loop. Yeah, no, Stampy was talking about that in one of his videos or something somewhere, so I'm all right to talk about that. Ooh, look, I've got a map. Where did that come from?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Rika, have a map. Whee! Yep.
So find that in all of your Redstone stuff, do you start with the idea first? Or do you start with like the mechanic that you want to play around with to make the idea?
That's a very difficult question, because it really depends on what it is. Most of the time, I have in my mind what I want to teach people. Okay, so let's for example look at the whole teleportation of the skeleton. In my mind, I would probably think, you know what? I'm seeing a lot of people having issues with how to teleport an entity from one entity to another entity. Okay, because people have trouble with that. It's a question I get on a daily basis: is how do I teleport a skeleton to a player? So that would be the thing. I would think, okay, but how do we do that? Well, that is what we want to do, but how do we make it entertaining? I would then come up with an idea that makes that thing interesting. And then I would build the mechanic around that. So it's more what I want to teach, then what would make that interesting, because what I find is that when you make something interesting, you retain audience retention, but it also helps with them to want to learn how to do that, and then you will find that they go out and they do completely different things with that mechanic that you taught them, and that is fantastic, because that's exactly what I want to see is people taking what I've done, what I've taught them, but then applying it for their own needs, showing that they actually learned something. You know, they're not just blindly copying what you did.
Absolutely.
Was that the question? I think that was the question. I tend to get sidetracked. Oh, that's a pretty ceiling you've got there.
tends to get sidetracked. Oh, look at the ceiling.
Yeah.
And no one knows what's up there.
Nope.
You'll never know.
There's a button up there. I saw it.
All right.
Okay.
So with the projects this big, you're bound to come into some issues. Now, I heard you mentioning about the bees, but were there any other problems that they wanted you to do and simply couldn't do?
Not yet. Look. Okay, so the thing about working on projects this big, is that there needs to be trust from both sides. There needs to be trust from the people you're working with or for, and they need to trust you. So I told them I can give them whatever they want, as long as whatever they can imagine, as long as they're willing to compromise when I say, listen, we can't do it quite this way, but we need to do it that way. So far, I'm just trying to think what things that was not really possible to do. I can't really talk about that right. What episode was showing now where they looked at? Okay, let's. Don't
risk it if you can't talk about something. I don't want you to get in trouble.
Let's change the question slightly. So, issues that I had was trying to animate stuff. Okay, so they wanted to physically see something being animated and changing, but which is fine. I mean, if in a room this size, you can change this room and morph this room and animate it without a problem. But the scale that we were working on just made it impossible. I mean, for one, the server wouldn't be able to keep up with that level of animation. So there were certain things. If you watch the show and something is digitally done, and I'm not talking about things like the book glows to show that the clue has changed. I'm talking about big things like the spaceship flying over Wonderburg. Mm-hmm. That would be the stuff I wasn't able to do. So there was stuff, but it was minimum. But there's certain things we felt that we made the mechanic for it, but in practice it didn't actually look good. So you understand? I mean, in theory, this thing works perfectly, but it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't suit what you're wanting to do. And then, we would do changes. I'm being asked to do something now, which is actually kind of impossible to do. Which we'll probably end up using mods to do that. But up to the stage, no, nothing has been impossible. But nothing is impossible. That's the beauty of Minecraft.
Yeah,
as long as you're willing to compromise. There we go.
So, did you feel like you had any problems with the scope of this project? I mean, a lot of people try to take on large projects, and it's overwhelming. Like, how did you organize, everything that was needed to be done, and really get through it?
Well, the project is big, but we worked on it in a silo, episode per episode. So it wasn't me having to make this massive. I mean, first of all, I built about 5% of the map. What was done? The builds themselves was done by Voxelbox, and they would give it to me modular. So they would give me Wonderburg, and then they would give me Wonderburg Forest, and they would give me Charlie Tan's shop, and I needed to kind of assemble it in the end and do some of the. I need to smooth things over and kind of just glue it all together. Some of the later episodes contain some of the builds I did for it. So everything was modular. So it was literally like making a mini game a week. Okay, which it's if you break it down like that, mini game a week over. Okay, now let's over 6 months, but not really a week. So let's say a mini game every two to 3 weeks. You understand? So it's if you break it down like that, it's fine. I used Trello extensively. Okay, I don't know if you guys know Trello at all.
Yep.
So Trello has a function where you can add checklists, which is absolutely indispensable because I was able to break it down and say, okay, we need this skin, we need this texture, we need this build, we need this mechanic. So every time I got the script, I would completely deconstruct the script in Trello, and then when I get to my bit of it, I could just tick, I've done this mechanic, working on this, done this mechanic. So that is it. It's just, yeah, it's the organize. Don't just go scattergun. Big problem with adventure maps is that most of the time you don't actually know what it is you want to do. You kind of make it up as you go along. And that's the kind of project I find completely fall flat and you kind of give up halfway through. But something with this is planned out step for step from the beginning. Yeah, so that's how you kind of cope with that.
So for adventure map makers, would you suggest people having a clear vision before they start?
Oh, it depends on the person. I would say yes, absolutely. At least do what they always said. That lady who wrote Harry Potter. Always know how your adventure map's going to end. Okay, at least know that. So if you're going to make an adventure map, or you're going to make any kind of map, know at least how it's going to end. Because if you know how it's going to end, everything else just falls in place as you build it. Well, that's what I think. And anyway,
that's some really good advice for you map makers out there.
Yeah, and that's now we kind of come to the Tate world. Kind of the Tate world, the maps. I mean, we knew what it is we want to achieve in the end, so we just kind of worked towards that goal. Now that was a bit of a nightmare, is the Tate world maps, because that was, yeah.
Oh yeah, please tell us about that. I'm really interested. A lot of people that we've had on here had a part in this, so it's obviously a big deal.
Oh yes. It is quite a big deal. I mean, we kind of did we already talk about Tate Worlds in this recording? No, I don't think so.
No, we have not.
We had to cut because Recabilly's computer cat caught fire. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Okay, so Tate Worlds, basically, Tate is a art gallery in. Is that a creeper? Why is there a creeper here? Okay, so Tate is an art gallery in London, which kind of houses the historic art, or houses Britain's art collection. So it is a major art institution in England, and once again, dear old the common people, Adam, kind of got me involved in this, and they basically asked us to make maps out of art. So they had a number of art pieces that they selected, a couple of paintings, a mixed media type of installation, and a few more that we're still working on. And basically the remit was that take this painting, recreate it in Minecraft, and make kids love it. Okay, no, I'm totally paraphrasing there. This wasn't quite what was said. But so basically, what we did was we once again the voxel box. Yeah, fantastic people. They built the. So if you look at the painting, they then built the painting to look exactly the same in Minecraft. But then we extended it. For example, the Pool of London, which is now completely broken. Thank you very much, Sarge. Basically, we completely extended. Instead of just having the boats floating on the water, they built St. Catherine's Docks, and they built Customs House, and they built the Tower of the London Bridge and the Tower of London. They physically built London in the 1800s. Okay, in the whole Fauve style, so the bright colors. So the whole idea is that people look at the painting, they then get sucked into that painting, and then they interact with the people and environments of that time. So instead of just looking at the painting in this like,
okay, so you want me to go on and have it out here? Oh, what was I supposed to go? Tower of London? Is that up ahead here?
about the paints, and it teaches you about smuggling and all of the hidden things that happened in 1800 London, and where, and you do all of these quests for him. For example, one of the quests which I kind of like the most is you can't actually get into customs house, which is where you traded your goods in the 1800s. You would arrive by a boat down the River Thames. You would then have your permit, which allowed you to enter customs house, and then you would trade your goods. Now, but basically, what we did was one of the boats. I created a captain's cabin, and I put the permit in the cabin. And the first quest was they need to trade. They need to do a trading puzzle in customs house. But before they can enter, they need to go and find the permit. So they would then jump around looking, exploring the boats, exploring the River Thames until they find the permit. Now I like that. And then somebody came back and said, came back to us on Twitter and said that first of all, her kid played this map, okay, and her kid loved it, and then forced them to go to the Tate to go see the painting. And while they were there, that kid was telling her all about Fauvism, which is a painting style in the 1800s. And she was going, oh, you see that boat there? In that boat, that captain had to have a permit to go trade in customs house. Okay, and that was just like, bang. This is the future. You know, this is the future of education. So yeah, so that's it. We did the Pool of London. We did Soul of the Solar City, which was he's changed his name now, Theo the Apes map. We just did the toy shop. I've just finished the toy shop. We've started work on something called the Carnation of the Lily Rose, and there's 2 other maps as well. Something about Pompeii, the fires of Pompeii, and then there's like the shed that's exploded type of artwork installation thing. So there's, you know, still a lot of stuff coming from that.
Wow. That's
yeah, so
pretty extensive. You already mentioned what your favorite like sort of piece was, but what were some of your favorite like mechanics that you personally had to do? Maybe like a favorite challenge or something like that.
It would be everything in the toy shop. I really enjoyed the toy shop.
Is there anything you can tell us about the toy shop?
Mechanics wise?
Yeah,
or...
mechanics wise. You don't need to give anything you can't tell.
So so now we kind of come back to the whole question about what it is I do on my channel. So when 1.7 or 1.8 something, when it's one of the snapshots came out, okay, we were suddenly able to teleport to entities. Okay, and I then sorry, going to personal channel. Where's my personal channel? Is it over here? Where's the personal channel?
I lost it. We'll find it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so one of the things I did was so one of the things I did was I figured out that you could actually so it was the whole @ E thing. So I accidentally figured out that when you throw a it wasn't actually me that figured that out. Somebody said it on a live stream I was doing. When you throw a fishing rod, that little bobber thing that like drops on the ground. Well, just imagine there's like a little thing there that bobs up and down. That's actually called unknown. Okay, so if you then teleport yourself to unknown, you would then teleport to that thing. So that immediately opened up a whole like a grappling hook type of thing. Now, I mean, I'm talking about that's what 8, 9, 10 months ago. Anyway, so that is always my a very favorite little exactly that little bobber there. So it was quite a favorite little mechanic, but I never found a way to use it. So when we got to the toy shop is this very high, very big ant farm like structure, and immediately it's like, you know what, we finally found a reason to use a valid reason to use a grappling hook. So I completely and utterly rewrote the mechanics. I mean, it no longer uses like the name of that thing at all. But yeah, so that by far is my favorite mechanic. Is that it's 100% multiplayer friendly. Up to, I think the toy shop is optimized for 16 players. So you can have 16 players whizzing around, each with their own little grappling hook without causing any kind of issues. But I did go for the teleportation thing, because I know a lot of people are building mechanics where it summons armor stands and then teleports you like in a very nice smooth arc, but that's not practical. I mean, you want to go from here to there, you don't really see. So yeah, that is my favorite. One of my favorite mechanics was that particular one.
Very cool.
And switching off of the lights, yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
So with your personal channel,
yes,
you started this how long ago? How long have you been doing YouTube?
Well, I made my
your
channel
Minecraft YouTube.
Okay, good. You're learning very fast. It's about 3 years now. Oh, sorry. It's about three years now that I've been doing Minecraft stuff. It would be October. I started out doing building tutorials. Okay.
Right.
Then they added, and I've played around with redstone, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't have the mechanical mind for redstone. The kind of the piston moves this and then that happens and stuff. And then they introduced command blocks, and command blocks I instinctively understood. And then I started. The first tutorial I did was on how to protect your spawn area on a server by using command blocks. Basically, I think that was the first command block tutorial I did. And then yeah, people kind of liked it, and it just kind of grew from there. Yeah, that's how my channel really started.
Where do you see your channel going now that you're doing so much more stuff with not just entertaining or teaching to your own audience, but to an audience that might be bigger than what you were expecting?
It's a very good question, because I mean I have really asked myself this a lot, especially recently, because of time constraints. I mean, you'll know that now quite well. Having a family and time suddenly cut in half. And I kind of recently moved.
User entered your channel.
Currently living in a new country as well, so I had a whole country change. So it's a difficult question. I think it's actually going where I wanted it to go in the end, catering to maybe a little bit younger audience, and not really doing concepts, because there's a whole perception that I do concepts, and that is something that slightly annoys me, is that I don't really do concepts. I teach people how to use certain mechanics so that they can go and create their own inventions, but I find interesting and entertaining ways to do it, if that makes sense. I mean, we had a brief conversation about this earlier. So it's not really about concepts. For me, never about concepts. It's more about what it is that I am teaching them, really.
Hold on, we need to figure out what's going on with the TeamSpeak thing.
Sounds like somebody's either muted or...
Oh, were you picking up all those noises, Rec?
Yeah, those little bling things. How do I get rid of this person?
That goes, can you No, it's fine, man. That's cool.
I go up to.
I don't know, there's only two of them that's famous.
Oh, I would not count myself in the
you're
famous.
all pretty famous.
Oh.
No, not really.
Please, Dragnoz is the famous one.
Oh, look, a door. Whee! Let's do another one. There,
Yeah.
you can have one as well.
I'm just like, I was looking for like my friend who's on here, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is CDFD man and Dragnoz and Recabilly. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out.
I think you're still freaking out.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so what happened to the World of Warcraft map?
Oh gosh, yes! Yes, thank you for asking that.
You're welcome.
Oh goodness.
Besides
okay,
the throwing the snowball thing.
No. That was just me being bored.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I figured.
Yeah. No, nothing. Yeah, that There's a lot of clues. That was on a completely separate map. It wasn't. I specifically MC edited that part of the map in for that. What happened to the World of Warcraft map?
That it was just a.
So there was a question early on the show. Are we recording this? This can actually be quite nice to keep in.
Fan question. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is being recorded right now.
Oh my gosh. Am I going to be on YouTube? I mean, I'm technically already on YouTube, but
you might be.
Well,
yeah, that little question of yours got you.
No, it's my moment. I'm the one standing in front of this creeper. It's my moment.
It's just like
My
I'm this
moment.
random guy who just jumped into your channel uninvited and ruined your video.
My moment. My moment. Okay.
Okay.
What is happening?
You invited me, remember?
Oh, right.
Okay, so the World of Warcraft map. This question you guys asked, what advice to give to people who want to make a map? I don't know how I wanted to end the map. So I never had a drive to go in a certain direction. I was just basically copying what was on World of Warcraft. And then what happened was there was a stage when they would introduce something in a snapshot. I would use it. Now, and this is I'm not sure. It felt like this is what was happening. Sarge would see something I did, and then he would improve the way to do it, causing the mechanic to break. Then I had to redo what I was doing on the map. So I redid the World of Warcraft map probably about 6 times, and it was like, you know what, I'm gonna actually no. Then Sarge actually told me, he said, don't do any major map works until the 1.8 release, because things were just changing so rapidly. And then I kind of stopped that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, it was.
You re-added the bug with teleporting.
Yes, this is not quite the place to bring that up, but yeah, it's so the thing. It's not about re-adding bugs. It's about.
I know. Same.
It's yes. See, there's okay. For example, look at when you fix a bug. Okay, you need to do certain things, and you need to remove. You need to remove things to test, and then put them back to see what part of it is causing the bug. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's kind of. So, do you know what one of the biggest bug fixes plus points has been, which was an unintended side effect? And that's the being able to select random entities. So you know the whole thing that everybody's now using @R to randomize.
Oh, yeah.
That was an unintended side effect of a bug fix.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's you know.
Hey.
There's plus and minus points to what they're kind of doing with the bug fixing. But my philosophy is these guys are phenomenal. They are the only company who interact with the community, and actually they change the game to what the community needs. If they make mistakes every now and again, so what? You know, so what if they make a bug fix that breaks something else? So what? You know, what they are doing is phenomenal. I mean, they've just broken a major thing that I've used in the Pool of London, which completely breaks Pool of London. Yes, I'm upset about it, but in no way will I blame them, because it is for the best, and they made it possible for us to make stuff like Pool of London, to do things like, you know, Tomorrowland. They made it possible. So, you know, what the biggest bugbear and the biggest thing that immediately puts me off a person is when they attack Mojang or anybody that I feel are very good people. Okay, so that immediately kind of puts me off.
Attacking people that are good is kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, always bad, always bad.
Yeah, just be nice to people.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're all part of the same community. We're all working towards the same end. You know, we're all creating. We're all making magic. You know, it doesn't really matter who did something first, or who does something better, or who did it 10 years ago. Every single person's audience is different. Every single person talks to their audience different. They do things in a different way. And I know there was at one stage I was mad at you, Recabilly, but you know it's just we shouldn't be. We're all doing the same thing. We're all part of the same happy family. Why can't we all just get along?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
F
cool.
is
So
for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anyone and anytime at all down here in the blue sea.
Excellent. So Sad Ghoster, thank you very much for joining us. But would you mind? We just want to quickly finish off this show. I need to get to bed. It's quite late for where I am. But thank you very much. It's actually been good having you on.
Thank you. I am sorry I interrupted.
No problem. That was good. It was actually gave us a nice. That was a nice feature. You guys should do it more. Actually.
yeah.
I was actually
okay.
planning on it,
Well,
so yeah.
I'm on here. I will be on here a lot. Oh.
Alright, thanks for joining, dude.
Thanks for joining, man. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Where were we?
We were about to end the show because we're getting quite far into it. So is there anything else you'd like to mention to the people?
I don't know. To be honest, my closing message would have been just exactly the message I just gave right now in the end. About we're all part of the same community. Mojang are doing things for the community that they are not under any obligation to do, and allowing us to do wonderful, amazing, fantastic things, and just support each other and learn from each other. Just because I do think, look, wee, it's raining command blocks, hallelujah. So yeah, you know, let's learn from each other and improve and be better and have fun. I mean, that's what this is all about.
Absolutely.
And one thing, if that was something I did want to mention as well. Just remember, YouTube is never going to be sustainable for 99% of the people on there. So enjoy this, but find a way to use this and make it a career outside of YouTube. So do it skills transfer. So learn command blocks and then go and learn programming, because now you've got the fundamentals of programming. Okay, so you know, do this YouTube thing, but make sure that you transfer those skills into something that's going to be sustainable long term. Yeah,
Very good advice.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah, is that good? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right, folks. So this is actually, we did not mention this. This is actually our finale for this season, and we're going to be starting up the second season very soon. Hopefully with a better looking sign that is not all brown. And
Yes.
I like the brown.
well, it used to be black, so which kind of fit better with the
What
theme.
is this
But
season? So is this the last episode?
this is the last episode of season 1.
Oh gosh.
Confirmed last episode. Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Oh what? Okay, and that would do it. If you guys have any suggestions on who you'd like to see on next season, feel free to let us know. You can tweet at us at Recabilly or at CDFDman. We are also going to try to get the community in the episodes like how we did today, except today was not expected. So thank you everyone for watching.
Hey, there's a whole
thank you very
testing
much, guys.
facility out here.
This is the CDF testing facility just right over there.
What? That's crazy.
Okay, I'm
Thank
stuck
you
in your
guys
map
so
now.
much.
Thank you very much. It was great fun having me, and guys, thank you for listening and putting up with us.
Yes, and until next time, we
Until
are
next
out.
time.
Bye.
Bye.